And welcome to the Summit, presented to you by Harry Wizard Gaming, your one-stop shop for all things gaming. What's up, guys? I am Captain Cup, your host, joined by The Grizz, our always returning co-host, and Psycho Pinguino back once again for another podcast. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
How has your days gone? Summer has, or I guess spring or summer's come. I suppose today I kind of want to do some talking about maybe some gaming culture. I know we talk about games and what they've done for us and, you know, people we've met, things of that, but never yet have we focused on the kind of culture that was, you know, kind of the has been, is now, and where it's going. But kind of an interesting topic, kind of as time's progressed with, you know, the COVID breakout and all that stuff, and how that kind of changed the theory and all that. And even like how most of us met through not only like older style communication and where we're at now in Harry Wizard Gaming and how we communicate today. And kind of on that topic, you know, where do you think culture's been? Like what, like, you know, there's always been that stigma of, like, you know, gamers of our age versus younger gamers and how normal it is now compared to how it has been. And just kind of interested in hearing everybody's maybe thoughts on that and kind of how you perceive that. Like,
where it's been, I mean, obviously it started out being kind of frowned upon to be a gamer. In the, like, I feel like the modern term for gamer is completely different than like what it used to be.
Right.
Yeah, dude. The stigma it used to be of like you were a gamer, you were just somebody in your mom's basement. Like that's like really what that stigma used to be.
Those are tryhards now.
Yeah. Yeah, really, for real though. Like,
well, and like the idea, like when gaming systems first came out, like no, they weren't called gaming systems.
Kids.
Well, not even just that, but like it was the Atari and, you know, the NES were entertainment systems. They were marketed as family entertainment of the future, and there was a lot of it that was like, this will never last. Kind of like how computers were. Like personal computing, nobody ever thought it was going to take off and be a thing. You know, and the aftermath of the culture growing into like every company that made electronics came out with some sort of video game device. I mean, I've known that we've been in conversation before where people have no idea what a ColecoVision is, or a lot of those older weird VHS based systems. Another part of gaming culture that I think is funny is none of the kids nowadays understand when you say like Channel 3. Like everybody knew that Channel 3.
God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
But I agree, it was a very, very looked
Frowned
down
upon.
upon. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time, you know. And now,
Yeah, dude, imagine going back and telling our parents, I'm training for the Olympics to do esports.
right?
They would have thought we were nuts.
I'm training
Like-
for a tournament in Madden, or I'm training for a tournament
Right.
in college. Even when you got, like, even in the early 2000s, it wasn't what it is now.
No, not even close.
Like, we
Like,
still,
tournament.
like, you still were looked down upon. Like, your tournaments were you were making maybe 1,000
Right.
and for like big tournaments.
Yeah, there was no paid for professional video games, you know,
Right.
less than a decade ago. And now like for me, I stream part-time and I still get checks from Twitch, and it's not by any means any money to live off of, but it's bought people in the clan quite a few video games. I mean, like that, I joke it, but it is my money. You know what I mean? It's like I go and I'll buy this for somebody, or like, oh, we need this, and I can't do it. Well, Twitch has funded some of those game nights. You know what I mean? And it's just so weird to think. I remember like I was such a closet dork nerd in high school. Like I was like playing my Pokemon games and my Zeldas at home after school at the end of the night, and it was a secondary thing for me. And now this video game culture and this video game stuff is like the high point in my life. It's the people and the games that I play every single day. You know what I mean? It's more than that now. I mean, can't you agree? Like, I look at everybody, Grizz, Psycho, TD, and Smiley, all you guys as family. Like, I would drop whatever it took to make it. I'm just saying, like, you made the phone call and you needed me, I would be there. And that isn't how it used to be. And I think that's what makes Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty, so hilarious, is because it's back to those, like, give a shit, not give a shit attitudes, like, in that game, like it used to be. And I think it's different. And, kind of... Yeah. It's just crazy. And, like, on that point, how different conversations are in video game chats compared to how they used to be, and how much more regulated it is. Because if you remember, online games was like not rated by the ESRB. We're not part of this. This has nothing to do with us. Whatever's said online is nothing. And how we've had, when Major Lag was in the party the other night, he called a guy back out on text and they banned him from comms for a month. Like,
oh, dude, especially, like, bro, Xbox chats back in the day, dude, you used to be able to say whatever. Now, one swear word, your communication banned.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have. I got one, and it's because I didn't even like curse at the dude when I messaged him, but he just like, it was a guy that just because pissed me off, and I said something. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna get you banned," and I literally was like, "I don't give a fuck about no ban." That's all I said. Like, I wasn't even like cussing at this dude. I was just like, "I don't give a fuck." Ban. I was like, cool. Guess what? There was workarounds back in the day. Now there is an even more workaround with Discord. You used to have to use Skype to do the workaround.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you remember that, dude? Having to use Skype for a workaround, or if Xbox
get banned all the freaking time.
Yeah, dude.
Skype.
Well, like, I remember, like, even like talking about that when we used to play online PC games. Like, there was team speech, there was Skype, and like it was one of those two, and like that was before Discord, which it's just, again, another thing, blast from the past, and then somebody did it the best, you know what I mean? And that's Discord now.
But even to go back to like what you were saying about like how even growing up you were like a closet nerd, like I know this probably goes the same for Psycho, like we were both athletes growing up.
Oh yeah.
That was not seen as normal for somebody that's like an athlete. Everybody had the stigma of like, oh, you're a football player, you're just a big old meathead or a jock and this and that, and it's like, bro, like, you tell me like
the house, bro.
Yeah, that like no, it's like if you saw me at school, like I didn't even hang out with those guys that I played football with. Like they were cool to be around like on the football field, but like other than that, like I wanted to be around my people that were like nerdy and were into Star Wars and all that kind of shit. And like that's something I've dealt with my adult life, as people will meet me and I don't literally look like you're that typical nerd type shit that we always had that stigma of growing up. And I was like, then they're like, oh shit, like you're really a fucking like nerd. I'm like, yeah,
bro.
I'll say it, bro. Nobody in this park right looks like a typical D&D player.
Well, like
the stereotypical, yeah.
You don't look like that.
Well, and like on like my job, for example, like you've seen me in my work stuff, like hair comb, polo, black pants. The only thing that people recognize is, every once in a while, I get the most of it is like cool dragon, but then like somebody's like, oh, nice, like sick Gyarados tattoo, and I'm like, you fucker, I knew it. You know?
dude. Hey, I'm right there with you though, because like some people will walk in, they'll see the one behind my ear, they'll see my Majin, and they're like, "Is that?" Yeah, like you know what it is. You know what time it is. But like, just for like the way what you wear to work. Look at what I wear to work. I'm wearing a bulletproof vest.
Right.
Nobody would expect me to be what I like. What do I do? I want to go home. Sit in front of a computer till I go to bed.
Well, like, yeah, it's just funny because, like, if I could wear shorts, it'd be more obvious because all my Zelda tattoos on my leg and shit. But like,
Right.
this is like covert enough that like,
Oh, I literally have the Mandalorian skull on the back of my arm. You can't see that through my with my shirts are longer, so you don't see that.
100%
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just interesting. Like, and the crazy part is how much more accepting it's become, and like.
Yeah.
Just like me seeing parents at like SuperCon, for example, like how many, not just like kids did we see, but how many full ass grown adults with their kids were there jumping on and hopping, playing stuff with them and like getting it set up for them. Like,
Yeah, alright, so it is. I'll tie, since we'll talk about both. We're talking about, I would put almost tattoos and gaming on the same level.
oh yeah,
They go hand in hand.
Because like
A lot
back in
of-
the day, tattoos were frowned upon too.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
And like how you're talking about all your gaming tattoos, I put them right there with each other
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yeah.
well, like,
Now, like so many gamers you see are just completely tatted too. Like,
well, like, you know, on that stigma, that's changed pretty rapidly in my career. Like when I first, you know, 12 years ago started becoming a service advisor, it was like no scene tattoos, no nothing. And like it even took me a while to do the shoulder piece because I used to just have this W when I was 16 and it was completely hidden, couldn't see nothing. And it took me like several months to be like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going to do the half, you know. And then I started working at Subaru for a long time, and like everybody was like starting to get tatted up, and the owners kind of came around to it. So I got this done. When I started at Ford, I had to wear an athlete sleeve, cover my whole arm, for like probably the first year. I had to wear it every day, unless I was wearing a jacket. And then, literally at one point, I just didn't wear it one day, and nobody said anything. And then nobody said anything the second day, and like more and more people got hired that were tattooed. You know, so it just became like, oh, it's okay. And yeah, it's like really, like a really goofy stigma, in my opinion.
yeah.
You just
I
be,
just got out of that. What do you call it? Obviously last year, because all my tattoos were hidden.
right.
You never see them on purpose. Like the one on my wrist, you never saw because I always wore a watch. Days I was at the fire department, if I didn't wear my watch, I had to have a sleeve or something covering it.
Yeah.
Because you still weren't allowed to have tattoos showing.
I just
Like, cops had just started being able to have tattoos and beards
hey,
showing.
I went the same boat with you probably within the last year too though, because like I mean, you know, I had the dream I wanted to be a cop, and was slowly going away from it, and then I was like, I wanted my hand tattooed really bad. And I was like, well, this is me just saying to hell with that ever being a shot. And now here it's completely fine. They wouldn't even care. And like that's obviously the most visible one I have.
Yeah, y'all throw your games out there with your tattoos and
Yeah.
fuck
It's
it all. It's who I am, bro.
well, yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I mean, yeah, like, fuck. Speaking of gaming culture and tattoos, Psycho came up here, got the tattoo with us. You know, crazy.
I do a lot of my
I mean, I got the one I would have gotten that week. So
computer things going.
But like another culture thing that I think is crazy is how close, like I've touched on it today, but like how close we all are. And we're miles and miles apart, states apart, countries apart in this group. And like, what's that?
The reason I don't count.
right.
But like, I'm just saying in general, like, I talk to you guys in general more than anybody in person. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have my in-person friends and stuff, but I would sit on this comms with you guys before I would be like, oh yeah, let's go out and have a beer or whatever. I don't drink, but I'm just saying in general.
Cedar every day, so I talk to him. I actually talk to Cedar more in person than I do on games, which is funny.
Well, that's just because he plays strictly Xbox.
Well, and work is work, you know what I mean? Like, it's everyday occurrence, but, like, given the choice for me, it's like, I would jump on here and kick it before you'd hear me being like, let's go out and do this.
And I mean, I think the gaming culture for some people now is like, it's their escape. Like, personally, it's mine, you know? I hop on the
Safe
game to...
place.
Yeah, it's my safe place. And, like, the people I talk to every day when I'm playing Xbox, they're like, I've gone to in some down times to talk about. So, like, I look at them same thing as family.
Right.
So,
well, and that's, I think it goes without saying, I think we've all been there.
oh, yeah.
Like, I've come to you guys on the worst of my worst, and I've had, you know, Elf and Smiley have done the same, you know, in their bouts with things. But, you know, it's just, it makes sense to me because it's the people I can turn to without any judgment or without,
Right.
and realistically trust. Like, it sounds weird, but, like, you know, in gaming and in real life, I know I can trust these people. Like, it's weird to say, but, like, in a gunfight on a game, I know that Psycho's got my back, Grizz got my back, whatever, and I can...
I would not trust the Grizz has got your back.
Yeah, hold on. The Grizz would have your front because he'd be there before you got there.
Bro, I played PUBG with you.
Okay, bro, PUBG was a whole different ballgame, okay? I didn't trust my skills with PUBG. Yeah, the second rounds were going, I was 100 meters away.
You didn't have my back.
I didn't know. I didn't have anyone's back.
But going back...
Call of Duty, hey, I got you. I'll be in front of you.
But I think, like, realistically, I know that if I made the call and things need to happen, they would. Or if someone called me, I'd be on the first flight I could get on. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just weird because it wasn't that way years ago. It was just these guys you got online with and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and a prime example, more so than like when you guys came up, I flew down to Georgia to meet up with my last clan, my group that I ran. I flew down to meet Daquan, and you might have played with him once or twice in the Destiny times that we've played. But it was, people were in shock that I was flying across the country to go hang out with these guys I played games with
Right.
for a week. And it was like, people were like, they're just trying to get to you. They're just trying to get you. And I'm like, this dude is 4'11" and 60 pounds dripping wet. He ain't gonna get nothing but his ass whooped. You know what I mean? But there wasn't a question for me. It was, you know, I'm going down to kick it, and that was so weird back then. And that was over 10 years ago. I'm talking like I was 19. So yeah, like 12, 13 years ago. You know what I mean?
I think the first time I ever did something like that, I found out one of my Call of Duty clans we were in. They literally lived like 3 towns over, and we just randomly met online playing Call of Duty. So we all met in the middle and went golfing. And like people are like, you're really going to play like golf with people you play Call of Duty with? Yeah.
Yeah. It's and I don't
Like,
think
you're
it's
going to watch football with a guy you drink with? Yeah. Okay, cool. Same thing.
Right.
it's just so different now, and it's insane to me. And like how quickly our groups will grow and sometimes dissipate a little bit, you know, in Discord. But like even that person we haven't talked to in 6 months will pop back in, and it's like they never left.
I have people like, I haven't played. Your mic's going again.
No,
I
I'm muted.
Yeah, my daughter is being fun. But
I
yeah,
have people I haven't played with in years that'll randomly like pop in and like it'll be like, yeah, we never skipped a day. Perfectly
Oh,
fine.
right. I could go pop in and say something to Griffey, dude, and you would never know.
Oh, man.
In like 3 years.
I still need
Pop
to.
in- Pop in with any of them.
Like you've played with him, right?
Griffey?
Yeah.
I have hundreds of hours into playing with Griffey.
Okay, yeah, dude. Look, you know what kind of guy he is.
Yeah,
The best. He's the best.
yeah. He is
Dude,
like.
you get him and I together. Oh, it's the next level, dude.
I'm just saying, like that man.
Add Rit. Then it's just me and Rick going at each other's throats.
I'm just saying, Griffey out of anybody is like
Oh.
hard on his sleeve. I think that guy would literally do anything for anybody that he cared
Oh
for.
yeah.
He would have been the perfect person to get for this.
I think
Topic.
we just need a Griffey episode. We could just do the
No,
Chronicles
no.
of Griffey.
Dude.
Because in real life, he's a professor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like, and like he still to this day like hides the fact that he's a gamer
Really?
from like people he works with and everything. Yeah, because he's older. It's not accepted
Yeah.
still.
Right.
And he's just like, I don't care, bro.
I 100% would do a Griffey episode.
I'm just saying, we just need to do Chronicles of Griffey. Let him explain the Hawk. Like, I'm just saying, like, oh, it's just good. That coming soon. I will talk that guy into it.
Oh, dude. Hey, if it needs to happen, I can talk to him.
I'm just saying.
You get a Griffey and a Grizzy episode, and it's over with, man.
Yeah, I'm
Gotta
just
do
saying.
like the corny intro music, like an old sitcom.
Ba-ding-ding-ba-ding-ding-ba-ding-ding. But
No.
yeah,
To
it's
touch- even on I'll touch on the bad side of the culture though, is that there's so much toxicity in it too, and that's the
Oh,
bad
yeah.
part.
oh yeah,
like,
I mean, shit tons.
I actually though over the weekend actually had like a genuinely good interaction with a random guy, like was playing the show with Bubba. We lost like 1-0, but like these guys didn't like just constantly throw pitches outside the zone. They like played a good game, you know.
Right.
I said like, and I never send anyone messages. I just sent the dude a GG, and it was funny though because my team is OSU on the show. This guy's team said his team was like somewhere from Detroit, right? And he messaged me back and he said, "Go Green" in GGs. And at first I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, his shit said Detroit. He's talking about Michigan State. Let's go!" Like, so I was like, "That's a genuinely like was a cool interaction that I had." That I was like, "All right, like you're not like a piece of shit, dude. Like, yeah, I could rock with that."
Well, like me and Psycho had an interaction with a guy in DMZ, wasn't it? Yeah, it was DMZ that,
Yeah.
and we were just like going off with this guy, and he was like, "Hey man, I got an extra gun, and I don't want it. Do you guys want this?" And he drops it, and I threw him a gun back, and like, it was like, I'm like, damn, there is non-toxic people, and then for every one of those, there's at least 500 assholes. Like,
Oh, exactly, yeah. So like it's really refreshing when you find the one. It makes it like you remember that one
right?
over all the other like just shitty people you deal with. You know, it's like, man, that one guy, they were pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
that was cool.
Well, you think about it, bro. Like technically, for me and Grizz, that's how most of our community started.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting random people in different games and pulling everybody together.
Our longest term gamer friend, you're now boss.
Yep, seen her.
Random game of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Met a camper in a damn corner.
Yep. He was our teammate. Call of Duty Ghosts 2013.
Then Bubba, we met playing
he's from-
freaking FIFA.
Yep. What, 2014? So, dude, even before that, we had our 2K10 group, or 2K11 group we dealt with, was literally a random encounter with this dude, and we played with them
Wheezy?
for what?
Wheezy?
Yeah, it was Wheezy, yeah.
2-3 years.
Yeah, good 2-3 years, and like,
I remember
we
that.
we lost touch with them when Xbox One and
PlayStation.
PS4 they went to PlayStation. But it was another random encounter of like some good dudes.
Well, and like how the stars had to align for me and Smiley and Elf to meet, and then Psycho to show up. Like, Psycho played with a guy that was a friend of my brother's. And
You didn't even play the game.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at it as like how much like had to line
15.
up. Yeah. Because, like, Psycho showed up playing Destiny with me one night when this kid named Joe, that my brother had been friends with for years, was playing with us and just never left. And, like, Smiley and Elf were literally a LFG one night that me and Dom had. and they were just like, they showed up and we played, and I'm like, hey, you guys on tomorrow, you know, blah blah blah, and just kept playing. You know, and that kept rolling, and then Harry Wizard Gaming started, you know, with the Discord, because Psycho's like, you got to get a Discord. That's where it's at. You got to get a Discord. And I'm like, well, then you're getting hired, because I don't know what the fuck that is.
Doesn't matter to me. I'd already built one, so.
I was gonna say we were already in the running one, and running what 100 and some people out of division.
150 people,
Yeah.
No problem for me.
When it's like, it's so like, that was such a like, and I think that feels different now too, to where like one game would create these huge communities, and I don't think anything's dropped like that for us in quite a while. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's huge Destiny communities out there that have hundreds of people in them
That are still strong.
right, and
Yeah,
it just,
maybe 10 people talk though.
well, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, in the long term, like, I'm waiting for that to come back, and I hope like Diablo might be that for us, just pushing that out there, playing and being halfway decent at it. But like,
Division Heartland's coming too.
I don't know if I can trust anything Division does.
Yeah, same. Cause dude, and I even had a different role back in that community. Was like, I was the helper. Like, we'd get new people that were new to the game, and it's like, all right, I'll run you through the game in a couple hours, get you back up to us, and let's run it. That's all I did. Like, I wasn't the raid guy or anything. I was just you're brand new to the game. You need to get your character leveled up. Like, I got you.
I wasn't the raid guy either. I was the community person. I focused on building and enforcing what needed to happen.
But then we got to being raid people.
well, and that's another thing. Like, I really hope that big community-driven game comes for us again, because
I could see that coming from Diablo, but I don't know, man. There wasn't, like, even during the betas, there wasn't that much. What do you call it?
Well, but the problem with like betas and stuff is it's a task to acquire. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, like the Server Slam it was advertised, but not like to the same of like everybody plays, everybody come and do it. You know, it was more like we're testing the servers, just get after it. And a lot of return people from what I read. It was like re-up, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of new acquisition to that beta.
The only new thing I think was the big boss, the world boss.
Well, no, that was in the last one. It just wasn't. There was no reward for doing it. Yeah, they had it in there, but like, what I'm saying is, it's like they didn't try to acquire new faces into that. They were like, come back. You know, it was a lot of come back and play again. Come back and get this.
I mean, I did it for the third time.
Yeah, and like, I'm just getting at, like, it wasn't like everyone and your mom and your sister and your uncle like come and play. It was come back to and play this, which makes sense. You know, a lot of your hardcore players are going to get in there and explain themselves and yada yada yada. But I don't think they do. Nobody does enough of that either, in my opinion. Like, nowadays, there's not a lot of like open beta access unless you're like a AAA studio with a game that's on its 4th sequel. If you think about it, I mean, what was the last beta you played that was huge? You know what I mean? Yeah, like a legitimate open beta you didn't have to go request access for. I would put money on it. It was Call of Duty. Because
Call of Duty, you usually got a pre-order.
Call of Duty had the open beta. They had the open multiplayer beta because it was early.
Yeah, what do you call it first?
Oh, shit.
On one of them. The other one we had everybody else come in.
I can honestly say probably the last open beta straight up I played was Division 2's open beta. Straight up.
Dude. You know what? I feel like I played the Back 4 Blood beta.
I do think I played that too.
I played that.
I think that might have been the last beta I played.
And the worst part about, I remember it now, because the worst part is it's like, yeah, this beta's good. You know, like, they just need to make a couple updates, but yeah, it feels cool. And then you get into it, it's like, oh, this is it. I got you.
And that game was like, it was alright.
It was
really
a week.
short.
A week.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
A lot of
And
hype.
that's even like, that's a lot of my problem with games now, dude. It's like when a new game drops, it'll catch me for a week or two, and then I'm just gonna revert back to like what I enjoy playing, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of time out of me and of my enjoyment.
And that's
So I've reverted back constantly to playing Dead by Daylight.
Well,
It pisses
and
me off, but
I think that's what I'm getting at with like the games that are going to build communities, the games that are going to be exciting for the gaming community are going to be these games that do have longevity, do have replayability, do have, you know, different aspects of what to do at the end and grinding and all this stuff, where a lot of the games that have come out they've been like not necessarily rinse and repeat, but like
they're
Yeah,
just
just-
straight through one playthrough.
One and done. One and
Yeah.
done.
like I've mentioned before, that's the only gripe I have about Hogwarts, is that it was a very
A lot of people said that about Hogwarts. Like there was no reward for going back through.
right. But yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Like I said, it was like that game's very well done to the point to where I can't really, if that's my only gripe about it, that I don't get to play more. You know what I mean? Like I'd say that's a good hit. But I think we should get close to wrapping it up here. But I do want to know, I'd like to hear your guys's probably most rewarding moment in your gaming, maybe your gaming culture that you've experienced, or maybe like that moment that was like, yep, I want to play video games with people because this made sense. And I want the like first thing off the top of your head. Do you get what I'm saying?
I got mine.
Well, let's hear it.
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to think of what Call of Duty that was. Oh, man. I want to say it was Ghost, maybe. When Clan Wars was the thing. It wasn't even like you were gaining anything, but it was just so fun that it was like every time Clan Wars popped up, you knew everybody that you played with and that was associated with you was there to play. Like, we were running 18 people. We had 3 teams taking over different parts
game
of what
types.
Yeah, different game types. Like, I was like, hey, look, you know what you specialize in? That's the game what you got to play. This is what you got to play. This is what you got to do. Hey, we got to divvy up. We know who's a killer, who's an objective guy. We got to split this. But it was rewarding because, like, for me, it's like I knew who I was playing with every time. And I knew we were going to win at the end of the day. Like, and the guy, like, Griffey was one of my main gunners. Like, he was my dude. He was my top guy with me. We'll let the rest of everybody else just be our objective guys. But it was just, I loved doing that because it was, you knew every time they came, everybody was coming. And we were going to come in and do what we had to do. Because I think we were, a platinum tier fucking clan? Like, top tier and won, like, all
We're
our clans.
Diamond Division.
Yeah, like, we always...
We never
won.
lost.
Yeah. And I just loved that. And, or one other one, we were pretty toxic in the game, was Battlefield Hardline. Because we had such a solid set of 5 guys that we didn't use our real guns in the game. We used tasers or melee weapons. And we played like VIP and like, I don't remember what the other game mode was called, but it was round based, first to 5. And we literally were just like, we're so much better than you that we don't need to shoot bullets to beat you. And then the second if we got down, like, you were still in game chat doing this shit. They'd start talking shit if they got like 2 wins and you're sitting at 0, or it's like 3-0 or 4-0, and you're just like, we go back into where it's just, we can only hear each other. It's like, time to pull out the guns, boys. Yeah. Clean sweep them the rest of the way through. And it's like, you guys ain't talking so much hot shit now, huh? Because that was just fun. Like, knowing you were that much better than somebody was just, to dominate them like that, it was just like, it was a little toxic though, because it's like, you guys are really just assholes that you're just using your stun guns and melee weapons to beat us. Like, you're kind of an asshole. But it was also like enjoyable because you're sitting there laughing and joking the entire time while you just shit on these people with a stun gun, running around, get tased, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Like,
First time homeboy ripped that off, that shit was priceless, bro. Good times.
What about you, Psycho?
Well, you stole mine because mine was going to be forming EX3 into what it became in Call of Duty Ghost. And then actually most of that clan did transfer over to Destiny 1.
Yeah.
And we ran Crucible the same way. So you saw the EX3 gamer tag, or clan tag in 2 different games. It was just cool being able to, like we talked about, like how all of us meet random people and then form together and you stay tight. Like I still play with a bunch of those guys.
Right.
And then, second one would be, the same thing on Division, forming OXS, getting a raw deal in a clan, and then deciding to drop out. And
After some questionable shit.
Yeah.
Let slide.
Let slide, and then dropping out, and literally a whole 50 people plus came with me when I left. So I already had a whole clan plus some. So me, Grizz, and Placebo all became clan leaders, and we had 150 people playing games under us, under the same banner. We just had different S's. Being able to form those type of communities of people who are looking for the same thing, just to have fun, carefree zone, stuff like that.
You made me just have a whole flashback of them Destiny 1 Crucibles, man. And IBs, man. The IB is, dude, because I've never been a huge Destiny guy. But it would be like, I'd get the text, hey, IB this week. I'm there. Yes, sir.
Under leveled is above fucking, but
under
still
leveled,
there.
but I'd be under leveled. Hey, once they dropped the Clever Dragon, that pulse rifle, it was a wrap, dude. That was my gun. That and what the hell was that one from the raid? That had the little.
Oh, the Outbreak.
Yeah, Outbreak Prime.
Outbreak Perfected.
No, from Destiny 1.
Destiny 1 was Prime.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Dude, I loved pulse rifles. Were the
Bad Juju was nasty too.
Bad Juju was good. Red Death.
I hate that one though.
I never got Red Death.
Really?
I had Red Death.
Playing Destiny 1, I never got it.
Dude,
I had
Red Death
And, like,
smacked.
played
bro.
the shit out of it.
Dude, for a non-exotic, the Clever Dragon was so good.
Yeah. Well, the Red Death, it would heal you. You'd just smack fools and be back at full. Like,
But,
if you remember Psycho in Destiny 2, the Crimson.
Pistol.
Yeah,
Pistol.
Crimson.
I know.
It's the same deal, but you could hit shit with it. Like, I couldn't hit shit to save my life with Crimson, man. Like, oh, well, missed him again. Guess I'll just switch back to a gun that works.
Yeah, that's one gun I never got in Destiny 2. One. Never got the Red Death.
Yeah.
It's the one I wanted. They're like, you can have the Cerlos Regime 50 times.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Don't talk that hot shit about the Cerros, dog. I got so many kills with that.
I love that gun. Right? I love that gun.
Oh, man. They brought it back in Destiny 2, and I was like, it's on, motherfuckers. It's on.
Why ran the hell out of it?
I think I got like 10 of them.
I was big on the Outbreak and the Clever Dragon. Because Outbreak, dude, in Crucible was like a 2 burst, and it was over. The gun did the rest of the work. Especially if you were headshotting, it was like a 1.
Shiva swarms.
Yeah, the Siva shit. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on talking to those 2 games because obviously some of my greatest moments in my life are in that game, and this one is gonna sound toxic, but if you listen to the story, and I'm sure you both have heard this.
Did you hear Grizz's hardline story?
Okay,
Right,
it's pretty bad, but like this was me not doing any of it, and it being blamed on me, and then me trying to redeem it. So when Harry Wizards was being formed, and it was like 4 or 5 of us. This was before you guys. This is when Macho, King, Doctor, and Homeless moved over. Back before they had those names, they're all different. But I log on one night, and I look, and I have like 10 new clan members, and I hadn't even like done anything. You know what I mean? And I knew the names because they're people that we had kind of teamed up with on the side to get through some raids and stuff. And I get on, and everybody's fucking dying laughing. Just fucking laughing. And I'm like, what is going on? And they're like, we switched. And I'm like, I see that. I need more context here other than that you switched. well, we got sick of so and so, and I jumped, and then Macho jumped, and then these guys asked what the hell we were doing, and we are talking about you guys, and blah, 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 and we jumped. Well, then we're sitting there, and I'm, like, absorbing that we just, like, literally took every admin and mod of another clan from this. Like, all of their team left. And they were probably as big as Harry Wizard Gaming was at the time, because we were probably, like, 40, 50 total, but more like 10 or 15 that we actually played with, mostly. Because at a certain time when I was just trying to get the name bigger, I was just inviting people through random matches and just like join. Anyway, and we're sitting there, and then this guy chimes in, and it's the other clan's leader. And it's this British guy, and he goes, he's like, really? This is what you're going to do? And I'm like, just quiet. I'm like, what? And he's like, you think this is what's going to go down? I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then they're all like, yeah, dude, we're done. And I'm like, I felt like I was listening to mom and dad argue, like, at the dinner table. And so that whole conversation happens. Like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he leaves. And then I get a message. And I have all these messages saved because it was, like, the greatest conversation I've ever had in my life. So he messaged me, and he goes, it took me a long time to build that. I spent so much time on this. I can't believe you would do this and snipe clan members. And I'm like, be honest, bro. I didn't even know they joined until half hour ago. You know what I mean? And they were like, he's like, you know how much effort and time? And I'm like, yeah, I get it. And they left, and I'm sorry, but clearly they have other, reasons for it. And he messaged me back, and he goes, I hope he's just pissed. He's like, I hope all the bad shit in the world happens to you, basically. And I was like, hey man, I don't have any bad blood with you. And if you want to join up and be part of this, you're more than welcome to. I'll always have a spot for you. I was just trying to be the nice guy. And he messaged me back some fuck shit. And then I messaged him back, and I'm just like, listen, man, if you weren't a douchebag and everyone didn't hate you, you probably wouldn't have a fucking problem, along the lines of that. And I said, but again, if you want to join somewhere that has good leadership and will teach you how to play the game, you're more than welcome to join us. Just because, like, that was my last, like, and, like, that was just one of those big paramount times of, like, A, growth, and B, like, someone made the choice to come over to our side because of the way we were, you know what I mean? And then I was hoping we could get Max in here, but one of those pivotal moments in gaming history for me, in culture wise, is Max was more secretive about his gaming than I was, because up until this moment that I'm about to talk about, I had no idea Max played video games at all, not a clue. Like, dude rode dirt bikes, had nice cars, you know what I mean? Like, wasn't that guy. Skateboarder, all this jazz. Well, we're like, it was like 8 o'clock one night, and we'd all go cruise in our cars and stuff like that, and that's what we did. And it was like 8, and nobody usually went out till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I'm like driving kind of that direction, because I lived way on the east side, and like the cycle, I remember, like 41st Street and Minnesota Avenue, those two big streets, that's where you rode the loop, and Max lived right by there. So I just text Max. I'm like, hey, man, you mind if I come over and kick it before we go out? And he goes, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, I don't want to go back home right now, blah, blah, blah. Well, I get there, and he comes in, and he opens the door, and he's like, making sure it's just me. He's like, hey, man. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you play Call of Duty? I'm like, yeah, almost constantly. And he goes, right. He's like, what about zombies, man? I'm like, yeah. So I walk in, and his brother, and his dad are sitting there, split screening some zombies, and add me in. And I'm like, after that, it was a wrap. Like, every time I got done cruising, straight to Max's middle of the night playing zombies all night. But, like, it was just funny because he opens the door and he's like...
like you're doing
yeah, like, I'm like, dude, your parents are gonna think you'd sell me drugs, man. Let me in. But yeah, like, they even hit it well, because, like, I'd been in Max's house, like, numerous times, you know what I mean? Didn't know there was a fucking Xbox anywhere in the place. Sure as shit, they're fucking just fucking blasting these motherfuckers, and I jumped in. But yeah, that's another moment that I was just like, yep, I want to play video games. There's more people in this world that are doing it. I'm down.
Oh yeah.
See, you proved the point though, Chris. Freaking best communities are formed through mutants.
Dude, yeah. Because literally that same situation is how we formed our Division One. But that one was huge. That division thing was like,
That was like 7 clans.
yeah. Oh,
In
so it was
one.
like 350 people, and they all had their own heads of each side, and like, so Psycho was heading up his own end.
And when
And
I,
I was-
left, literally my
But I was
entire
still
clan
really
went with
new.
me.
I was still really new to it. But literally, like, the like leader of it all, let some dude like come in their Discord using a racial slur,
And he's just going off, and I was like,
and like,
nope.
like, and we had people.
He knows.
of
He
that.
knows. We
yeah,
had vodka,
Yeah.
and you know how vodka is. You don't let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
know.
And,
so-
and I don't let that go.
How many times
So-
I talked that dude off a ledge? I'm just saying.
Oh, I know.
So we were literally like, bro, like, nah, we ain't rocking with that shit. And we had already even been talking about like doing our own
Yep.
thing in the first place. But like that was like our final straw. We're like, bro, like you can't just have a community of 300 some people and just let some dude come in here using racial slurs. Like you don't know what everybody's ethnicity or race is. in
Well,
here.
beside the point, like,
Yeah, and it's just not cool.
Yeah.
yeah, like just in general. That's why the rules are the way they are in ours. Like, at one point, me and Psycho sat down and we're like, I want to turn this into a community, and he goes, we need to set this up, and we went through and made the rules, and you have to agree to them.
Yeah.
And if you don't follow the rules, people find out how it gets. I have to sick my Psycho dog on.
Fanhammer.
What do you call it? It's pretty much the same. Call of Duty. Leaving Fury to create EX3.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that.
They were kind of backwoods like that, and then would bring up freaking text you at 3 o'clock, bro. We're losing this. What do you call it? We gotta get it. No, we don't. I'm not playing Call of Duty at 3 o'clock in the morning because we're about to lose something on a clan war. So
Yeah. Well,
See, that was in those clan wars, dude. I always got called in because I was big dog type shit. I was there to kill. That is all.
now
I
we
mean,
gotta
you
play
know
Call
how
of
I
Duty.
am.
We don't even mention your fucking name.
Yeah, because I don't play Call of Duty, bro.
I'm so sick of this already. This whole conversation about Grizz not showing up. Talk about culture. This motherfucker is a ghost.
Okay.
Okay.
Because Cup doesn't mind losing.
Hey, I've said it 100 times. You can sit
I
here and
know.
ask Psycho. Like, if shit's going bad, it is what it is. It's a game, you know. At the end of the day, always another round.
There was there was when this Call of Duty released and we were just playing multiplayer because Warzone was not out, and I was consistently playing with all of you guys. There were so many times where I'm just like, I'm gonna freak the fuck out because I'm over here with 30 plus kills every game, and we're just taking constant.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna put this out there. When we started playing Call of Duty, I made it
I knew.
very
I knew.
aware to everyone
It wasn't
that I
how
did
I
not
made
play
it.
Call of Duty. Okay,
I didn't say it was just you.
I know. I'm just saying. Everybody's like,
Well, it damn sure
"What's?"
wasn't me.
Well, everybody's like,
I was-
where's your KD?" And I'm like, "Listen, motherfuckers. I know
was
for a
just- I
fact.
knew you didn't care.
I know for a fact that the first thing I said was, I will play, but I'm gonna
But I'm
be
not.
dog shit."
See, the thing that I would just get mad is because, like, I should not be top kills and top objective. That was what would piss me off because it's like, bro, if I have more captures and domination and more kills than everybody else, you guys are literally doing.
All
nothing
I'm
to
saying
help
is
me.
it's really hard to capture a point if you get fucking smoked every time you get to the point.
If I'm smoking them, you should be able to get there.
No.
if I got Harrier jets over top, I got AC 130s coming in. What's everybody else?
I'm
doing?
just saying, you talk all this big shit, but you haven't played in quite a while, and it's a different. It is a different place now. I'll tell you
Oh,
that,
I heard you had 13 or something kills.
dude.
or something
It's
like
it's
that?
not
He
it's
has
not
a
that.
higher record than you, bro.
Yeah, that's fine, dude.
All
I
I-
play the game 'cause
All
it's
I'm
not that
all,
great.
all I'm saying is it's a different place now.
I will say though, with the night we played duos. You remember that a few months ago?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just you and I played duos. I was gonna kill you the one night, the one game, because I'm sitting there with 9 kills. I'm like literally on pace, because this is when we landed and I took out 3 full teams.
All I'm saying is Grizz talks all this shit, but he uses me as a decoy. He'll like shoot some shit, and they'll be like, "Oh, look at that motherfucker," and then Grizz will kill everybody around us. I'm just saying.
But did you die?
Yeah, I fucking died all the time.
But no, this specific game, I have 9 kills. Cups got 0. I buy him back, and then I hear this is when your awareness was just not there. This bomb drone. I hear the drone pop up, and I'm like, Cup, run!
Yeah.
And I get stuck on you, bomb drone, both of us, and I'm like 9 kills, like 70 people left. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna shatter my
I'm
little
just
personal
saying.
record I have so far, and bomb drone.
I'm just
So
hey,
upset.
it's fine. Like I'm sorry, but you got to know what's different in that world now. When Elf almost drug us to a win the other night, she was
No,
on,
I knew things changed when Psycho started doing that.
dude.
Bro, I clutch a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just
I
saying
watched
we were
you do
playing.
it on New Year's Eve. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
Because
we
it
were-
was New
we got
Year's
back to
Eve.
back.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, we both decided, well, let's just play a couple games of Warzone. First game, he dies pretty early. I clutch up for a win. You know, fucking. Oh, let's go. Second game, I'm dead. Literally the entire game. And then I watch him do what I just did with a little bit more intensity because it was nuts in the end.
Dude.
And then this man literally is final circle 1v1, and he's running to where it's moving, and he looks to his left. The person had jumped off the roof and didn't parachute. They're broken leg. And I'm sitting here like, but like he sees it and then turns to keep going, and I'm like, you better look the hell back.
No, the best was we were
Couldn't
playing.
believe my eyes.
We were playing a resurgence match, and we're all in it to like the last, what, it was like 6 people, and I smoked one guy. I come up and there's a guy on a roof, and another guy takes me out. Psycho is behind us like dying or something, or something like that, so we both die, and Elf is like running from the fucking smoke. There's a guy that was downed that Psycho got in the water. So I was like, don't worry about that motherfucker. He's in the smoke. Get the fuck out of there and go. There's a guy on a roof, jumps down behind her, and she locks onto him, just doo, 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 doo. And that fucking dude behind us got up and ran out of the smoke and killed her. But she like was, and she was on. Yeah.
Well,
She
shit,
was-
dude. Just the last time we played, which was like not even too long ago. Don't jump out this window.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, like
I make it competitive now, bro. If I like look at the thing and I'm having a shitty game and I'm like not top kills, I'm like,
oh, you just started doing
that's
that.
top line.
I've been
No,
doing
'cause
that.
You can ask Cup. We've had games where like I play that way and we lose, and then you'll see games where I play and I have like
Oh,
2
no.
or 3 kills, and they're the key kills that get us.
I 100% see a different correlation when like play Call of Duty. If I'm literally 7-8 kills above my team, we're not gonna do well. It's when your team and you are all just cohesively.
5.
Yeah, you're cohesively going like you're team fighting. Because it's, hey, 3 guys shot that one motherfucker. Whoever got the last bullet just happened to get the kill, really. Like that's when it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
okay,
Let's
we're
talk. Let's
on
talk. Let's talk about that shit with your brother here. This motherfucker will talk all this hot shit about he's got 38 kills, and he knows this. I'm out in the fucking boondocks, fucking breaking fools for him.
You bullshit, because you can also look at matches where I have like fucking 3,000 damage plus, and I got 2
kills.
motherfucking kills.
Dude,
And I'm
let me
like,
t-
bitch,
No,
who
if-
was thinking about
I'm
goddamn
sorry.
kills?
See-
There's one motherfucker I know that can complain about that always is Cedar. Cedar is always a top damage guy, 1 kill. Because he's a sniper. He is a,
That's what
oh, I
Cup
downed
is.
him.
Yeah, I know, but the problem with it is he gives you no credit. He's not like, yeah, I got 19 kills, but if Cup was steady making that damage for me, nope. It's like, where the fuck were your kills at? Where the fuck were they? I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, I could tell you if you watch. And the nice part is, if I really want to get technical about this, almost all of my gameplay is fucking recorded on the fucking internet, and I could go back and be like, look, broke 38 motherfuckers, but it got 3 kills.
I mean, that's probably why I get all my damage. I drop them, but they get back up.
Well, like, but you gotta admit, like, there are some shots that, like, everybody's like, fuck, there's a guy at him, and it's fucking
Oh,
gone.
yeah. Hey, That's why I like y'all, cause like, fuck, half y'all I play with are snipers, and I'm like, I'm running. Let me keep them in fucking shots, bro. I got it.
You could if you
I'm up behind.
if you watch the stream sometimes, you'll see me make shots that I'm like, okay.
You hit one the other day, and it was just the fact that you hit him. It was like, dude, way the fuck out. You're like, my dude's way over there, and you pinged him. He's like 400 or 500 out. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then he's like, I broke him. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can't. He's not rendered on your screen, but that fucker got no armor. I'm not kidding, Grizz. You see some of these shots I get nowadays.
I'm him, baby.
Dude, I've killed people or like down people. Like, where's he at? And I'm like, oh, he's on the other side of the airport. And they're like, where? And I'm like, yeah, he's crawling now. You probably can't see him.
I will say my greatest clip I have is with Cup is in the game. Is that semi clip? The ghost ride. That was so dirty and disrespectful.
Yeah.
I literally was just like, I have an idea, and I'm just gonna not say anything to anybody else, and I'm just gonna shoot it. I'm gonna let it ride.
Dude, ask Psycho about the save I had for our team with that helicopter. Like, they were way out in front of me, like, climbing up a building. And I'm like, I'm going to use this fucker as a gun. And they're like, what do you mean? And, like, I come over all of them. They're getting shot at. And I just jumped out and sniped with, like, 2 or 3 people. Just boom, boom, boom. And they fucking were dead. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And, like, I think I have a clip somewhere. But it was so funny because, like, I was using the helicopter to close the gap because I was doing something.
Yeah.
And they're like, you could just see the bullets. And I'm like, fuck it.
Ghost ride. Let it ride, dog.
I
Big
think my
old bomb.
best clutch is the fucking riot shield clutch I had.
Oh
that was
my
sick.
God.
I ain't gonna lie, that was sick.
Like, I should have died 3 times.
Dude, that was so funny. I like how that guy just couldn't figure out how to kill you. He's like,
Punching my riot shield.
but yeah. But anyway, we have gone way past our limit.
Yeah, we definitely
But-
went on a 20-minute tangent. Call of Duty.
But I do want to go ahead.
One
Yeah.
game we play right now. So.
Yeah. Well, I do want to tell everybody thank you for making your way to the top. We are going to close the doors up at the summit here for this week. We will catch you in 2 weeks again for the next podcast. Please make your way down safely, and we will see you next time.